Welcome to this lab on setting up a remote access. In today's IT environment, being able to remotely manage computer is essential. Whether you're an administrator managing multiple systems or a remote worker needing access to your office machine, remote access tools such as the Windows Remote Desktop Protocol, the RDP, and then the Secure Shell, the SSH, provide a secure and efficient solution. So first, we're going to start by enabling a remote desktop on a Windows system. This feature allows us to remotely control the machine as if we were physically present. By that, we're going to be searching the settings system and then select the system. And then we're going to navigate to the remote settings. And then under it, we're going to, under it, we're gonna allow the connection to this computer, but first we need to add users for the remote access. I already had Renee edit, and then when you're done, remember to click OK, and remember to disable something under the tab of allow remote connection to this computer. Just disallow that tab. Don't click on it, leave it blank, and then after it we click OK, and then we're gonna sign out of this PC after saving the settings. You ask yourself, why is this important? By enabling remote desktop, we allow users to connect to this machine remotely. The user Renee is explicitly given permission to connect, ensuring secure access control. Now we're going to establish connection between PC10 from DC10. Now we used another window machine called DC10 to connect to PC10. We log into the DC10 as a structural or administrator with our password, and then we open remote desktop connection by searching for the remote desktop, and then we enter PC10 as the target computer, because PC10, that's what we're using as the target. And then we're gonna click OK, and then we're gonna use the alternative account Renee with the IP address that we used on Renee. You're gonna have your own IP address. It's gonna be different from mine. And remember, when you're starting off, like you're doing the first RDP, it's gonna take few minutes to seconds to finish the connection, especially if it's the first time, so just be patient with it. As you can see on our screen, we already have like a remote desktop of PC10 on the DC10, as you can see, and we can see everything. Now we can work on the PC10 remotely while we're using our own PC. We're now gonna verify the connection by checking settings, and then after settings we're gonna go to system, and then we're gonna go to computer name. Oh my god, sorry, I forgot that. Don't go through the what is this? I don't know if you can check through the control panel. When the first time when I did it, I could see the name, but then here you can't really see the name, like you can't see the whole configuration. You can use the like, for instance, on the search bar next to the Windows, you type settings, double colon, and then you say system, and then click on it. It's gonna like come with it's gonna control panel, and then when you scroll down, you're gonna see everything, like your name, your PC, everything gonna be there. Once you are done with everything, you want to close the session once the verification is done, like once you have seen the PC and the information and so forth. This step confirms that the remote desktop is functioning correctly. It is also demonstrating that a user can log into the remote machine securely from another Windows system. And most time the IT, let's just say there was an error in the system, and the IT administrator, they can access your PC remotely, and then they troubleshoot, as I did say before. They troubleshoot, you check in everything, but you also want to make sure that whomever is checking, they have strong password, they have everything is in order, because if they have logins of other people's desktop, then it is really not secure. Now we're going to be configuring SSH on Kali Linux. The first thing we want to is to verify SSH installation. So moving on to Linux, we use the SSH for secure remote connections. SSH encrypts all communication, making it safer than the traditional remote access methods such as Telnet. If you use Telnet, you are a red flag. So we already log into our Linux with our credentials and so forth. Now we open the terminal and run apt list open SSH-server. This checks if the open SSH server is installed, right? And if and also the output should show the installed automatic. That tells us that SSH is already pre-installed. So if it's not, if your question would be like, if it's pre-installed, why then are you checking it? It's just a good habit to make sure that you check. For some people, I don't know, for some people's card, they might not have it, so you need to install it. As I say that SSH is pre-installed on your Kali, but verifying its presence ensures the service is ready for remote connections. Right, so just make sure that you do. Now we're going to be checking the SSH configuration. So by that, we're going to be confirming how SSH is configured, particularly for password authentication. So we're going to be running cat /SSH/d_configuration pipe and then grep and then the password authentication. Please make sure that password authentication, you write it as one word, don't leave any space because it's gonna return an error, as you saw on mine that it did return as an error. Just correct it if it does return as an error, and also check spelling. And if the output then is hashtag password authentication, yes, the setting is enabled by default. Now, if it's not enabled, like if yours return a no, then you're gonna need to go and configure it. You're gonna need to go and to the settings like your SSHD_config. You're gonna need to go and edit it. The hashtag represent that this is a comment, and the comment is agreeing with what we're doing. Do you understand? The password authentication allows users to log in with credentials instead of SSH keys. If needed, this file can be modified to enforce key-based authentication for better security. Now we're going to be configuring SSH services in running. By that, now we're going to check whether the SSH services is active. So we're going to run the systemctl status SSH, and then we're going to see that the output shows us active. Active on the active, it's also active, which shows also running and confirming the SSH is working. And we also get to see that the port that it's running on port 22, which is the port for SSH, right? Safety first. You ask yourself, what is the importance of this? Well, if the SSH services isn't running, to log out of this, this command that I got, like this comment or this whole information that I got, you're gonna need to press on Q. Okay, you're gonna need to press on Q, as I said. The importance of this is that if the SSH services isn't running, remote connections won't work. If needed, we can start it by using the systemctl start SSH. I didn't enter it because mine is already working. So if yours is not working, this is like where you enter the command. It didn't make sense to me that I have to re-enter it. I'm just showing you the command. If yours return that it's not running as mine it is running, so remember to enter that. Then we're going to be finding the Kali Linux IP address. But that we need the system's IP address to connect remotely. So we're going to be running the IP AS and then the if. Disclaimer, my system was working on disconnected. It is disconnected from the internet. So yeah, for safety reasons, so you're not going to see a lot, so hence I'm using the if. This will display the network information. The command that I just stated will display the network information. We're going to be look for the inet under the if to find the IP address, which in this case was the 10.116.66. Knowing the IP address allows us to connect to the machine remotely from the Windows. Now we're going to be establishing an SSH connection using PuTTY to connect to Kali Linux. I am not sure if you do pronounce it as PuTTY, like PuTTY, but yeah, anyway, on Windows we're using PuTTY, a popular SSH client to connect to the Kali machine. So we already logged in, and then we're going to open the PuTTY, and then we're going to enter on the host name. We're going to be entering our IP address that we got from Kali. Do you remember it? Yep, as the host name. And then we also want to ensure that the port is 22, and then we can click on open, and then the error that you get, you can still say okay, it's fine. And then we're going to accept the security, as I said, security warning, and log in as a root. The root, we're logging in as root because on my Kali I'm using the root as my username, and then with the password that I use, I'm not going to tell you here, you know your own password. And then I'm just like running PW to see where am I working at, and then running who am I, you know. And then we actually, the most important one is running the host name to verify the system name. Therefore the Kali, you know, we want to make sure that we are working on Kali. And then we are creating a test directory by running the mkdir remote. After that, running that command, we're gonna exit the session with the command exit. So the importance of PuTTY is that it provides a graphic interface for SSH connections, making it user-friendly for Windows users. Then, after us using the PuTTY, we then gonna be using the command prompt for SSH. By that, we now use the window command line to connect via the SSH, right? We're going to be entering, on the command prompt, you don't have to run it as administrator, just run it as it is. As you see on my side, I just run it as it is, and then I run the command SSH, and then you're gonna say your host name. I don't know what is your host name, so in my case my host name is the root. And then you're gonna say add, and then you're gonna enter your IP address, the IP address that you got from Kali or from any other machine. I'm using Kali and Windows system, but you can use maybe Ubuntu, or you can use like any system. And then after that, we're gonna type yes if prompted, and then we're gonna enter the password when we are asked, because they are gonna ask. And then just clearing the space, like clearing my terminal so that you can see a lot like how I'm running. And then yeah, the clearing, I didn't know it's going to give me struggles because it kept running up and up and up and up. I was like, gosh, hectic. But anyways, as you can see, I kept on struggling, but I eventually got it right. And then we're going to be disabling the login message with the touch, and then that cursor thing that's like a snake, like and then /.hash login. After that, we're going to exit the session and then reconnect to confirm the login message is suppressed. The importance of us running the command line SSH is that it allows for a quick scriptable remote access without the need for a third-party application like PuTTY. In this lab, we successfully enabled and configured window remote, desktop remote management, and we also got to verify secure SSH on Kali, and we also got to establish SSH connection using both the GUD graphic user interface on PuTTY and then the command prompt on the Windows. These remote access methods are essential for IT professionals, enabling them to make systems efficiently and securely from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that notification button. And don't forget to also share with your friends. Anything that you didn't understand, do contact me. I'm gonna get back to you. Bye.